For more frequent video uploads, feel free to support AnimeKouhai at Patreon. The link is in the description below.
Glenda didn't miss it, sensing the danger and instantly performing a backward somersault to dodge. There was now a sizable distance between them, and that was the right move for her to make, because in the next instant, an ultra-thin wire advanced upon her original position.
Ho, you have good instincts.
Well, thank you. You're not so bad, either.
The light exchange was punctuated by a gunshot from Glenda. It wasn't a threat to Soei. He went straight at her, not bothering to evade. So simple. I'm glad to have opponents like these. They're so easy to deal with. Magic bullets didn't require any firing. They could be shot without a sound, so if she mixed one in with her regular bullets. Now that her attack pattern was established, she'd strike with her real attack while his guard was down. That was Glenda's standard strategy: take a seemingly wasted shot and turn it into an instant kill. Even if you were expecting it, it'd be tricky to dodge it out of the blue. And Soei demonstrated the same reactions all the other titans she defeated before did. He took the bullet in the right shoulder and was sent flying back.
So much for you, handsome man. Rama fell for the same trick. The more confident you are, the more effective a simple move like that becomes.
Glenda laughed loudly, but her eyes were still alert, surveying the damage to Soei. Going easy after felling your prey was out of the question. That was the ironclad rule of the battlefield, and Glenda would never relax without checking her foe for a pulse. Besides, she didn't think she killed him with a single shot anyway.
I see. More of a handful than I thought.
Being a sore loser now? Well, sorry. If you've seen my face, my only choice is to take you out.
Soei, back on his feet, had lost his right arm. The fight seemed to be Glenda's to win. That's why she was more careful than ever as she pointed her gun forward. Magic bullets work on him. And now, with my next move, I'll blow his brains out. Launching her sniper unique skill, Glenda cautiously steadied her aim.
Hey, don't worry. I've been asked to capture you. I imagine Sir Rimuru wants information from you, but he's a gentle person. Cooperate with him, and you won't be killed.
Don't lecture me like that now.
With a shout, Glenda fired, 3 bullets toward his head, 2 toward his heart. 5 magic bullets, whizzing straight to their targets. Then the first 3 made the leap in space, reappearing in front, above, and to the right side of his head. The other 2 quickly followed, materializing before his heart and at an angle behind it. All 5 bullets hit home, shattering Soei's body. These warp shots were Glenda's pièce de résistance. Magically created bullets, unlike their regular counterparts, could disrupt and scatter magicules. Even if he could regenerate his body, those shots made it impossible. No matter what your skills were with a sword or spear, being targeted by supersonic bullets from all directions would be impossible for even the greatest of masters to handle. Based on her past experiences, Glenda knew full well what she was capable of. That was the secret to her continued survival, and that was why she now checked to be sure Soei was dead. His body was, in fact, collapsing into black smoke in front of her eyes. She breathed a sigh of relief. Since the moment she caught sight of him, a dark anxiety had been smoldering in her heart. It wasn't as vivid as it was with Diablo, but her instincts told her this was a dangerous foe.
It's over. You were a tough one. I didn't have any capacity to go easy on you.
Glenda was so relieved that the words just fell out of her. But that relief came just a bit too early. Suddenly, behind her, she heard a voice that couldn't possibly be there.
Oh, really? In that case, why not give up and let me capture you?
She reflexively leapt out of the way. Turning around in a panic, she saw Soei himself standing there.
That's crazy. Didn't you die just now?
Hey, you're the crazy one. You think that was enough to kill me? I have no reason to lose to you anyway.
Then I'll just do it one more time, whoa?
Glenda froze. Anyone would. Unbelievably to her, she now sensed Soei's presence on all sides of her. She immediately activated magic sense, but it just revealed the very truth she didn't want to know.
It can't be. Why are all of these physical bodies? That's ridiculous. What kind of joke is this?
It's simple. I have a skill known as replication. That is all. And while my replications aren't as powerful as my true self, you should be proud that you defeated at least one of them.
Soei, or at least, one of the 4 Soeis in the room, offered Glenda his sincere compliments. But now, escape was possible.
God damn it.
With a barbaric scream, Glenda lunged at Soei, and at that moment, her desperate last stand began. On a balcony overlooking a garden blooming with flowers, a girl, a boy, and an old man sat at a round table facing one another. It was Maribel, Yuki, and Johan.
We messed up. We botched it.
Maribel said quietly. Despite that, she didn't seem too affected. She had predicted this, and in a way, it was part of the plan.
What a disaster for Gabon, though, after all the devotion he had for you.
Johann, seated in front of Maribel, was holding a glass of wine as he lamented the Count's fate. He may not have felt that strongly for him, but even he had just a twinge of sympathy for the man. Gabon, after all, was one of the 5 elders, just like Johann, or maybe was, by now. His fall was already in progress.
Gabon was incompetent. All that time he spent living in Inglesia, did he develop a love for its king, perhaps? He would certainly have brought them under his control faster otherwise.
Don't be silly. Not even we in the Razos have reached into the central core of Anglesia yet. Gabon couldn't.
No, you're wrong. It's easy to seize the core. Just kill them all and leave a single infant remaining. And if that infant shares a blood lineage with Gabon, all the better.
Well, yes, if you put it that way, but
to Maribel, and all the blood-stained history she knew, this wasn't that radical an approach. In fact, she thought it was the peaceful way. It kept the body count low. But Johann wanted to explain to her that Anglesia's security wasn't about to just let that happen. It was an easy thing to envision, less so to act upon.
But I'm interested in those magical inquisitors.
Those unusual-looking people who served the king.
Yes, impudent, aren't they? So impudent. They must have built up their military to oppose the Razos.
What do you think of them?
They're strong, I suppose. Gabon told me as much after he experienced them for himself.
Maribel was able to share information with those under her avarice rule, to a certain extent. Anything her target learned, Maribel could tap into as well. Thus, she now used Gabon as a throwaway pawn. She wanted to learn about those inquisitors, so she had him engineer a crime so heinous they'd have to step up. All that foolishness aimed at the demon lord Rimuru was perfect for that, and considering Count Gabon was Anglesian nobility, the magic inquisitors were bound to come knocking. She saw all of that. And just as she hoped for, she now knew the secrets behind the inquisitors. In fact, they weren't anything too deep, just people infused with enough monster force to become magic-born. They hadn't worked and trained themselves to perfection, like the magic-born raisin of old Pharmus. To Maribel, these inquisitors, bereft even of sentience, a side effect of their bodies rejecting the monster elements injected into them, were just an interesting toys. But they regained that sentience when not in magic-born form, so depending on what you implanted in them, they could work in a variety of environments. Their strength, each and over A by themselves, was nothing to sniff at, either. As she saw it, they could be useful enough.
How fearsome. So you approved of Gabon's scheme, even though you knew it would fail, just so you could learn that?
No, my goal was to help build up your trust. Now the demon lord Rimuru sees you as trustworthy.
Do you mean?
No, he didn't need to ask. He understood it well enough. Her goal from the start was to eliminate Rimuru. The magical inquisitors were just a nice bonus. Maribel just wanted Johann to tell her about Rimuru's internal dealings. And if I don't give that to her, I'll be snuffed out as quickly as Gabon was. He didn't think he was as incompetent as Gabon, but nonetheless, Johann felt an inscrutable sort of fear toward Maribel. You must be kidding. Here I am, one of the 5 elders, and this little girl is bossing me around. He may have thought that, but he would never dare say it. So he decided to return to their main subject.
What do you think about pitting these inquisitors against the demon lord? Pin some manner of crime on Rimuru.
We can't. We just can't. All it'd do is anger the demon lord. Yes, the magical inquisitors are strong, but that's it. Nothing at all that could hold its own against a demon lord. It's silly even to consider it.
That much so? So wouldn't teaming up with the demon lord be our best bet, then?
Maribel shook her head.
That won't work. It won't work at all. Besides, apart from grandfather, every single one of you are suffering under a serious misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding?
Yes, exactly. The misunderstanding that humans are equal to monsters. Do you understand why I proposed to grandfather that we eliminate the demon lord?
Because he's building a new economic bloc that will eventually become a financial threat to us?
Right, but that's just our cover story. The real reason is because, in time, we'll be helpless against him.
Maribel, this little girl, struck fear in Johann's heart, and now this girl was looking fearful herself as she spoke.
How do you mean by that?
Johann asked, pressing her to continue.
The demon lord Rimuru possesses a staggering amount of war power. With that backing him up, what do you think would happen if he decided to negotiate with someone?
That?
Only then did Johann stumble upon the true danger. In this world, wars between nations almost never took place. They needed to save their fighting ability for the monsters who threatened them. The council stepped in to handle cross-border issues, and that inevitably meant those with the most economic strength were able to speak the loudest. Even the largest of states, such as Anglacia and the former Farmus, didn't have enough of a military to make enemies out of every council member.
And you realize that their military is not their only asset either, right? Being bound by rules is the same thing as losing your freedom, but if you can create the rules yourself, you don't have to lose anything, do you see?
Tempest might follow the council's rules at first, but after that, nobody could say. And if Tempest decided to spread its own values to the Western nations, soon the entire region would have to take orders from them. The Demon Lord's rule would be complete, a totally peaceful coup. He could threaten them with warfare, he could apply economic pressure, but either way, the stronger nation always gained the power to punish others.
It's funny, so very funny. And as time passes, there will come an era where everything will need to go through the Demon Lord.
And
if that happened, even Johann know where it led.
But doesn't the Demon Lord seek to coexist with?
Maribel stopped Johann with her cold eyes.
It's stupid. So stupid. Not just you, but the entire council. They're all idiots.
Then she took pains to explain matters in a way Johann could understand. Essentially, things may be fine now, but the future was an unknown. If humankind, after forgetting about the threat of the storm dragon, ever did anything to cross Rimuru.
I don't know what the lifespan of a Demon Lord is, but humans are such short-lived animals. If we don't stop the Demon Lord's ambitions right here, the Ratzo's one fervent desire is as good as scuttled.
A Demon Lord could always change his stripes. And while humans may come and go, Maribel absolutely refused to expect human values from such long-lived rulers.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shoutout to Luminous Eka, James Yap, Ice B, Psycho Cat, Mr. Jaha, Rembaru, Sama Nisan, Francois, Morris Nubi, and last but not least, shoutout to Chad Vota. I'll see you guys in the next video.